In September 2025, cybersecurity researchers at Barracuda discovered something they'd never seen before. A new phishing kit so sophisticated, so invisible, that it had already powered over 1 million attacks before anyone knew it existed. They called it GhostFrame. But GhostFrame isn't alone. 3 other phishing kits, Black Force, Inbox Prime AI, and Spider-Man, are revolutionizing cybercrime right now. These aren't your grandfather's email scams with broken English and Nigerian princes. These are AI-powered platforms that can bypass your security, steal your passwords, and empty your bank account before you even realize you've been tricked. The average cost of a phishing breach now stands at $4.88 million. Credential theft has surged 160% in 2025. And the most disturbing part: you can't spot these attacks anymore. They're too good. How did we get here? And what can you do to protect yourself? Let me paint you a picture of what's happening right now. You get an email. It says it's from your HR department. There's an urgent issue with your annual review. Or maybe it's a contract notification. The email looks perfect. Your company's logo is there. The formatting is exact. Even the sender's email address looks legitimate. You click the link. What you don't see is what happens next. Behind that innocent-looking page, hidden inside what's called an iframe, a small invisible window embedded in the web page, there's a second page loading from a constantly changing web address. The address is unique to you. It will never be used again. By December 2025, researchers had linked over 1 million phishing attempts to GhostFrame alone. That's 1 million people who thought they were logging into their Microsoft 365 or Google account. 1 million people who handed over their passwords without knowing it. Dr. Shreyas Shetty, an associate threat analyst at Barracuda, explains what makes GhostFrame different. The kit hides credential capturing forms inside an image streaming feature designed for very large files, making it difficult for standard security scanners to detect. Think about that. Your antivirus software. Your email filter. They're looking for traditional phishing markers, login forms in the page code. But GhostFrame hides those forms inside what looks like an image file. It's invisible to the scanners. And here's where it gets worse. The kit can rotate subdomains during a session, making it difficult for security systems to detect and block the attack. Even if security companies identify one malicious web address, the kit simply generates a new one. It's playing whack-a-mole with your security team, and winning. Shane Barney, CISO at CISA Security, put it bluntly: GhostFrame represents a meaningful evolution in phishing as a service. Its use of hidden iframes isn't new, but the full framework built around dynamic subdomains, anti-analysis features, and modular payload swapping is. Now, if GhostFrame is the invisible thief, then Inbox Prime AI is the master forger. Inbox Prime AI is advertised on a 1,300-member Telegram channel for $1,000, granting purchasers a perpetual license and full access to the source code. For the price of a used laptop, any criminal, no matter how inexperienced, can launch sophisticated phishing campaigns. But what makes Inbox Prime AI truly dangerous isn't just that it's affordable. It's that it uses artificial intelligence to think like a human. Traditional phishing emails were easy to spot. Bad grammar. Generic greetings. Suspicious links. But AI has changed everything. Inbox Prime AI is designed to mimic real human emailing behavior and leverages Gmail's web interface to evade traditional filtering mechanisms. The system doesn't just send bulk emails. It crafts individual messages that feel personal, authentic, and urgent. Here's how it works. The platform can insert template variables to produce slight permutations of each email, meaning no two recipients receive an identical message, helping bypass basic content matching filters. Let me break that down in plain English. Remember the old days when spam filters could catch mass emails because they all said the same thing? Inbox Prime AI makes sure every email is slightly different. Different wording. Different spacing. Different subject lines. Your spam filter has nothing to match against. But it gets even more sophisticated. The kit includes a real-time spam diagnostic module that can analyze a generated email for common spam filter triggers and suggest precise corrections. Think about that for a moment. The criminals have AI checking their work before they send it to you. They're running quality control. They're testing their emails against the same filters your company uses, and adjusting them until they pass. In March 2025, AI-powered phishing became 24% more effective than attacks crafted by elite human cyber criminals. That's not a typo. The machines are now better at tricking you than trained professionals. Kali Baron and Piotr Wojtyła, researchers at Abnormal Security, describe the implications. This industrialization of phishing has direct implications for defenders. More attackers can now launch more campaigns with more volume, without any corresponding increase in defender bandwidth or resources. Now, you might be thinking, I'm safe. I use two-factor authentication. Even if they get my password, they can't get into my account. I wish that were true. Enter Black Force. First detected in August 2025, Black Force is designed to steal credentials and perform man-in-the-browser attacks to capture one-time passwords and bypass multi-factor authentication. Let me explain how this works, because it's genuinely frightening. You go to log into your bank account. You enter your username and password on what you think is your bank's website. But you're actually on a fake page controlled by Black Force. The criminals immediately take your credentials and try to log into the real bank website. The real bank sends you a text message. Your verification code is 847,392. You see a prompt on your screen, the fake screen you're still looking at, asking you to enter that verification code. You type it in. Within seconds, the criminals use that code to complete their login to your real account. Once the attack is complete, you're redirected to the homepage of the legitimate website, hiding evidence of the compromise and ensuring you remain unaware of the attack. You never realize anything was wrong. The page looked perfect. Everything seemed normal. But your account is now compromised. Black Force is actively marketed and sold on Telegram forums for €200 to €300. For less than the cost of a nice dinner, criminals can buy a toolkit that defeats the security measures most companies rely on. And Black Force isn't working alone. There's a disturbing trend happening in the underground cybercrime economy. Researchers observed a new hybrid phishing kit that combines elements of two older kits, Salty 2FA and Tycoon 2FA, already bypassing detection rules tuned to either of them. Think about what that means. Security companies create defenses against specific phishing kits. They build filters to catch Tycoon 2FA. They build different filters to catch Salty 2FA. But now criminals are mixing and matching components from different kits, creating hybrids that slip through both sets of defenses. Researchers noted, this overlap marks a meaningful shift, one that weakens kit-specific rules, complicates attribution, and gives threat actors more room to slip past early detection. Meanwhile, there's Spider-Man, a kit specifically targeting customers of European banks and cryptocurrency platforms. The kit is noteworthy not just for what it does, but for how professional it is. It includes an organized interface that provides cybercriminals with an all-in-one platform to launch campaigns, capture credentials, and manage stolen data in real time. This is no longer hacking. It's a business. Let's talk numbers, because the scale of this crisis is staggering. Credential harvesting accounts for roughly 80% of phishing campaigns, with attackers heavily targeting Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace accounts. Why those platforms? Simple. They're the keys to everything else. Get someone's Microsoft 365 password and you potentially have access to their email, their files, their calendar, their contacts, their financial documents, everything. According to the 2025 Data Breach Investigation Report, stolen credentials were the root cause of 22% of data breaches in 2024. 1 out of every 5 major data breaches started with someone's stolen password. Business email compromise attacks alone cost U.S. victims more than $2.7 billion in 2022. That's billion with a B, and that's just in the United States. Just in 1 year. Just one type of phishing attack. But here's what really keeps security experts up at night. The average requested wire transfer in a business email compromise attack in late 2024 was $128,980. These aren't small-time scams. Criminals are targeting businesses and individuals with 6-figure theft attempts. And they're succeeding. Checkpoint researchers found something disturbing. In 1 month alone, they reported 14,000 cases where employee credentials were exposed in data breaches. That's 14,000 people in 30 days. Nearly 500 people per day. The research also revealed a troubling delay in response. In cases where stolen credentials originate from code repositories like GitHub, it takes an average of 94 days for businesses to remediate the leaked information by revoking them or disabling affected accounts. 94 days. That's more than 3 months where criminals have full access to compromised accounts before companies even realize there's a problem. Recent statistics show the total volume of phishing attacks has skyrocketed by 4,151% since 2022, coinciding directly with the release of ChatGPT and other AI tools that criminals are now using to craft their attacks. Dr. Jennifer Bryan of a medical association might have said it best when discussing a different security issue, but her words apply perfectly here. We know this is a real problem. It just makes it a little harder for the problem that really needs better guardrails on. Now, if you're thinking, I'm not important enough to be targeted, I need to be very clear with you. That's exactly what the criminals want you to think. These phishing kits don't just go after CEOs and millionaires. They cast a wide net. Microsoft consistently ranks as one of the most impersonated brands in phishing campaigns, along with other frequently targeted companies including major technology firms, financial institutions, and social media platforms. Why? Because nearly everyone uses these services. The more people you can trick, the more money you make. Volume matters in this business. Small businesses are particularly vulnerable. Research shows that employees at smaller companies face significantly more attacks than those at large enterprises. Why? Because smaller companies often can't afford the same level of security infrastructure that Fortune 500 companies deploy. But here's what's truly insidious. These new AI-powered kits are getting better at targeting specific industries and specific roles within companies. Finance employees receive a disproportionate number of attacks because they have access to money and payment systems. IT professionals are targeted because they have elevated system privileges. HR personnel are targeted because they have access to employee personal information. The criminals have done their homework. They know that different people within an organization have access to different resources. So they craft different attacks for different targets. And increasingly, they're using information you've shared publicly, on LinkedIn, Facebook, company websites, to make their attacks more convincing. They know your job title. They know your company's structure. They know who your boss is. They use all of this information to craft emails that feel authentic because they reference real people, real projects, real organizational details. A Coalition cybersecurity report warns that these personalized AI-driven scams are becoming nearly impossible for average users to detect. The messages contain no spelling errors, use appropriate corporate language, and reference legitimate company information. One victim of a sophisticated attack told researchers, "I've been working in IT for 20 years. I thought I knew what phishing looked like. But this email was perfect. It came from my CFO's email address, or so it appeared. It mentioned a project I was working on. It used our internal terminology. I had no reason to doubt it. So what's being done about this? The truth is, we're in an arms race. And right now, the criminals are winning. Security companies are fighting back with their own AI systems. Modern AI-powered email security platforms analyze messages on multiple levels, examining language, tone, logos, and URLs to catch subtle signs of deception. Some platforms now use behavioral analysis, learning what normal email patterns look like for each employee and flagging anomalies. If you never receive emails about wire transfers and suddenly get one at 11 p.m. on a Friday, that's suspicious. If someone who usually writes brief emails suddenly sends a lengthy, urgent request, that's suspicious. But here's the challenge. As security systems get smarter, so do the attacks. Remember that hybrid kit I mentioned earlier, the one combining Salty 2FA and Tycoon 2FA? That's not an accident. Criminals are specifically engineering their tools to defeat the defenses that security companies deploy. It's a constant cycle. Security companies develop a filter to catch ghost frame. Criminals modify ghost frame to slip through that filter. Security companies develop a new filter. Criminals adapt again. Microsoft has announced new security features for 2025, including enhanced token protection and automatic disruption capabilities. But even Microsoft acknowledges that these features won't eliminate the threat, they'll just make it harder. The FBI has issued warnings about AI-enhanced phishing. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency has published guidelines. Industry groups are developing best practices. But at the end of the day, the weakest link in the security chain isn't the technology. It's us. The humans. Research consistently shows that well-trained employees are the biggest cost mitigating factor in data breaches, while poorly trained employees are the biggest cost amplifiers. Speed and skill in cybersecurity save companies millions. Organizations that can quickly identify and contain an attack suffer dramatically less damage than those that discover the breach weeks or months later. But training has to evolve. The old approach, sending employees a yearly reminder about not clicking suspicious links, doesn't cut it anymore. Not when the links aren't suspicious. Not when the emails look perfect. Not when AI is crafting messages specifically designed to exploit human psychology. 3 months ago, cybersecurity researchers discovered Ghostframe. In that short time, it powered over 1 million attacks. Black Force is being sold on Telegram for a few €100. Inbox Prime AI is generating perfect phishing emails at the click of a button. Spider-Man is targeting banking customers across Europe. Credential theft has surged 160% in 2025. The average data breach now costs $4.88 million. And every single day, criminals are getting better at what they do. The age of obvious phishing emails is over. The Nigerian prince asking for money. That's ancient history. Today's attacks are invisible, sophisticated, and increasingly impossible to detect without specialized training and tools. So what can you do? First, understand that you're a target. Everyone is. Whether you're a retiree checking email or a corporate executive, criminals have tools designed to trick you. Second, use strong, unique passwords for every account. Use a password manager. Enable multi-factor authentication everywhere you can, but understand that even MFA isn't foolproof against these new kits. Third, verify everything. If you get an email asking you to click a link or download a file, especially if there's any urgency involved, verify it through a separate channel. Call the person. Send a text. Don't reply to the email, Start a new conversation. Fourth, watch for pressure. Urgency is the criminal's best friend. Act now. Immediate action required. Your account will be suspended. Real companies rarely create artificial urgency like this. And finally, stay informed. These threats are evolving constantly. What worked to protect you last year might not work today. The invisible heist is happening right now. Millions of accounts are being compromised. Billions of dollars are being stolen. And most victims don't even know they've been hit. The question isn't whether you'll be targeted. It's whether you'll be ready when you are. What do you think? Have you encountered any suspicious emails lately? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this eye-opening, subscribe. We've got more crucial security topics coming.